Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So last time we did a twofer reaction video and analysis video of Fall For Me and Alkaline. So I think I'm going to continue that same trend today and do both Distraction and Descending, the next two tracks on the album This Place Will Become Your Tomb. I do have to say that for transparency purposes, I have already listened to all of Take Me Back to Eden, their newest release. So if you have not heard it, you have my permission to leave this video right now and go listen to it. In fact, I want you to do that because you shouldn't wait. It's worth your time. It is my favorite of the albums, which I will be doing analysis and reaction to each of those songs, song by song, after I get through This Place Will Become Your Tomb. After listening to their newest album, I think I have a bigger picture of what is going on in the rest of the album. So it might change a little bit of how I'm analyzing even these tracks as I go back to this, knowing how it all ends. Because if you didn't know, Sundowning, This Place Will Become Your Tomb, and Take Me Back to Eden are a trilogy for this band. So listening to them in order is going to be somewhat important. The music kind of speaks for itself. You don't have to do that, right? But I would recommend doing it in order just to get the full grasp of what's going on with the trilogy and why I think it's brilliant. But that's all I'll say about that for now. Let's go ahead and get into Distraction. Let's see what they got for us today.
And I know I can tell I'm falling further again, but I won't set away. It's far too late for me.
Man, so this sounds a lot like Sundowning, this particular song. There are quite a few tracks on Sundowning that are very piano forward. This song is that way as well. There's a lot of production going on, and while piano is usually kind of like a pretty instrument, right? To me, the start of this song with it's kind of jarring. It's like he's playing the piano, but it's these like really sharp hits that almost don't sound like it's a human playing. It almost sounds like it's like programmed to be these like really perfect hits. And to me, it almost sounds like alarm bells. Even though it's a piano, obviously, it's there's something disconcerting about it being so insistent. And of course, there's all these sounds going on in the background that make us feel just like we're in really, really deep. There's a lot of reverb on his voice. There's some parts that are looped if you listen in the chorus really carefully that you can hear in the back that he's got some looped reverb going on of parts of his vocal performance. But this is classic Vessel vocal performance, just really grabbing our heartstrings, the heart of the song, right? But the production is great too. So I'll back up a little bit and see if I can point some of that out. It's just so echoey. Like it feels like this is just, we're in a massive, deep room. And we still got the just driving with the beautiful piano.
Days away, she's not like any other. No, something more.
The harmonies, my God, so beautiful.
I could ask for. Cause I
Now it's even bigger, the sound.
am broken into fractions.
We've added a nice harmony on top, and it sounds really good. And the low harmony too. He's like, it's a choir. It's a choir of vessels on this song. So obviously there's the main melody right in the middle, and it's most forward in the mix. But there's like an octave lower, and he's way up there, as he likes to do, all with this reverb that really just fills up the space. It's less lonely than it was in the first iteration of the chorus that we heard, which may be thematically appropriate as we look at the lyrics later. Just bringing it right down to just that nice piano part. Still, though, you can hear that it's just tapping away in the background. Oh man. And just his voice just fading out at the end, just letting it just echo away. And we're back to that piano piece. I'll just let it fade. Man. So a few things right off the bat here. So this is a very, I don't want to say straightforward, but it's very thematically just locked in, I would say. We have the driving force of this whole song is just that piano, just, it's not syncopated, it's just driving, right? Just over and over. That rhythm throughout basically the whole song. And it does build, obviously. We get our payoff there at the end when the drums come in. And we get a chord progression there that is surprising. It goes to places I didn't expect it to go. Which is interesting, because the rest of the song kind of had us in one chord progression, and then it changes up there. So it gives us something new to listen to, which is probably on purpose as well, just to make the song a little more varied. As you can see, we're on track 8 here. I mean, the music video, we are very, very dark at this point. We start at the ocean surface. We are in deep, and I think the lyrics are going to reflect that. Falling further again, but I won't turn away. It's far too late for me. And we hear this over and over, this too late for me. This is a very interesting song because it seems like we're talking about whatever this person is. I swear she is not like any other. something much more than I could ask for. It's too late for me. We've got a discord between different parts of the song of this idealization, right? This seems like if you heard this normally, this would seem like it's a good thing, right? But then we have this "it's too late for me" kind of echoing in the background, which makes me think that there's this like sort of panic, right? This sort of I'm in too deep, but I can't get out of this, which maybe gets to the point of the title of the song, Distraction. With each and every interaction, I am driven to distraction, which makes it seem like Vessel very much is conflicted. Does he want to be here? Does he not want to be here? And in fact, it kind of seems like he's parted, right? In half with this. Like, he's splitting because it says he's broken into fractions. And I think that's what's going on with this song. It's kind of this recognition that there's a part of him that wants this and a part of him that does not. And the whole album, up to this point, with the songs wildly yo-yoing between like sounding like love songs and then being critical of what's going on, I think this is where both parts meet in a single song to me. And this realization, this kind of panic that it's too late to go back. So this is a great song. It's very different. It's very different than even the last song we heard. We haven't really heard a straight up piano driven song yet on this album, which there were a lot of on Sundowning. So this definitely is a throwback to Sundowning in sound. Maybe a little darker than Sundowning with all the production going on. But the next song that I wanted to get into is the song Descending. So I'll go ahead and we'll just go right into it. Based on where we ended in the last one, we were deep under the ocean, kind of panicking, alarm bells going off. Let's see what this one has in store for us. So this is just all atmosphere right here. Just dark.
Just take it all for nothing again. Create, release. You just don't feel the same.
God dang. So this just haunting production, right? I feel like I'm being stalked listening to this song. I've got Vessel doing breathy vocals in my ear. I've got weird just like creaking and stuff in the background with this just like driving beat that just feels massive and dark. Gosh.
I asked, you answered, but you eat your words in vain. Unless discover you can't recall my.
It's like maybe a little melody in the background now. These vocals are just so like alien sounding. It's pretty incredible, like the different ways that Vessel allows his voice to be messed with in post-production. Because he's a great vocalist, like one of my favorites by far. But anytime he uses auto-tune or post-production, it's always for a purpose, not to cover up imperfections, right? Which I used to be kind of, if I think about in the past, I can clearly remember a time whenever metal music and hard rock music was going more electronic, and I was not a fan. It was around the time like Imagine Dragons was getting big. Um, and I look back at that now and think that those growing pains of those bands trying to incorporate electronic stuff has given us stuff like this. And I feel kind of stupid looking back at and thinking, well, bands shouldn't be using like stuff that's not real instruments when you've got something like this song where the atmosphere is created entirely by the production. So I think this is an incredible feat, and it really just gives you a different vibe than you could get with just Vessel singing on his own. Man, I'll back up a little bit.
You come crawling back to me, but I'm the underground. And we all know the darkest secrets. So come on and save me. And you wonder what I need.
It's just a bop.
So what would you do for me? You what would you do for
It's almost like a Jaws like rhythm.
repeat what I have said before?
It's not the Jaws rhythm, but reminiscent.
And strokes perfect.
Oh, that was a really okay. So I guess I'll talk about what the chorus is here. So the chorus goes into this very electronic thing that I think is really cool. And minor spoiler, we're gonna hear more of that kind of thing on "Take Me Back to Eden" when we get to it. But this is kind of like maybe their first time really experimenting with it this heavily. Um, but it's really cool. But I kind of like stopped there because this last little bit. So the second verse is very much like the first one, but now we have more bass. We've got a little bit more going on in the background to kind of build the song as they do. But there is like a really weird vocalization at the end that just sounds so unnatural. I wonder how they like what goes on in production. They're like, okay, let's make this decision and make it sound just like strained and weird. I'll see if you can hear it at the very end.
And strokes perfect.
Oh, what's that right there? Two vocal lines going on. There's Vessel saying something in the background. Such a cool groove. The multiple voice lines going on. You get that like that Jaws-ish rhythm, and we're just like doing this like bit crushed fade out. So that ending, you could kind of hear it at the start, whatever effect they're using to make things like kind of get crushed and just. To me, that sound always like gives me the feeling of pressure as it gets pulled up. Like I know it's usually like called like bit crush or what. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, so don't crucify me if that's not exactly what the effect is. But that like I don't know, it just feels like you're getting squished. The sound's getting just squished and distorted. And that, paired with the idea that we are doing this descending, right? The depth marker has gone down once again. No surprise with a song called Descending, right? We're even darker. And if we take a look over here at the lyrics, I'll pull those up. This song almost immediately is in stark contrast to some lyrics of the last song. Especially with this, She Just Don't Feel the Same. If we contrast that with I Swear She's Not Like Any Other, More Than I Could Ask For, right? In the very next song, after the last song felt very much like giving up. This one is more critical of this other person, whoever she is, right? But after kind of giving everything up, the part of the song that kind of guts me is this part: at last discover you can't recall my name. Where it's like he's giving everything and she does not even care, right? But we've got the chorus, which I think is really incredible. Honestly, this is the song that the first few times I heard it, I didn't really focus on the lyrics too much just because I was having such a good time with the beat. But it is a cool chorus. You come crawling back to me, but I'm already on the ground. And we all know that talk is cheap, so come on and save me now. And then he does this, what would you do for me, twice, right? This is kind of getting back to the idea of like giving everything but getting nothing in return. My love withers and chokes in perfect awe. We're still getting a little bit of this idealization, right? In the lyrics with this like perfect awe thing, but we're starting to get the first glimpses of seeing what's really going on here. As Vessel kind of retreats into this person and sees them for what they really are. Where he's just not getting anything out of this, right? He's not clear that he's getting what he needs. They're not doing anything for him. Talk is cheap, but he needs someone to save him. And once again, this kind of is in direct contrast to a lot of this album, which is yearning to be here. But once he is here, we get these two songs, which are almost like alarm bells, but it seems like it's too late. He's already in too deep. He's been pulled in. He's been hypnotized. Excuse me. And I guess we'll see what happens next, but this is a very dark place to be for Vessel, clearly, because these songs are very dark, specifically Descending. Distraction has some bits of it that I would say are like dark in tone for the way it's produced, but this song specifically is the most atmospheric one on the album so far that really does make me feel like I'm just being crushed by the weight that he's feeling. Man. So yeah, that's some heavy stuff, but we will get back into the next song on the album. I believe it is Telomeres is the one after this. Yeah, Telomeres is the one after this. So I'll come back to that one on the next one, and I will see you then.